Like, if you don't have the ability to be liquid and bend with the world, man, it's gonna be a tough ride for you. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another Growth Talk. Today, I'd like to talk about standards. Now, I mean this in the sense of like having standards. So, you need to have standards for yourself. And the reason that this came to mind as a good topic to have a conversation about today is like every once in a while, it's important to take a look at like your standards. And some standards, you know what I mean? And to make sure that they're still serving you. Now, I'm running on like 3 hours sleep, so just bear with me today. But basically, what I mean by that is like, are your standards serving you? You need to make sure that they're serving you, because like if you have a standard that like you refuse to take public transportation, like you will only drive a vehicle. Well, if you lost your license or your ability to operate a motor vehicle for a set period of time, then that standard may no longer serve you. I know that's a weird example, but it's one actually relative to me. Like I lost my ability to drive for a little while at point in my life, and that really compromised that standard that I had for myself. Growing up the way that, you know what I mean, growing up in poverty, it was always very important to me to maintain a threshold standard for myself of like how you know what I mean, like what I'm willing to do and I'm not willing to do. And because I grew up so poor, you know what I mean, like going to food banks and waiting for buses with my mom and everything, like it's just like, man, like I vowed, like I won't, as an adult in control of my life and my decisions, like that is a standard that I have for myself, is that like I would never take public transportation. Well, I can tell you in the period where that became out of my control, out of a decision that was ultimately mine, not acting like some victim, but that standard was compromised, and it no longer served me. It's like, well, fuck, what am I just gonna fucking walk everywhere? Or am I gonna pay hundreds of dollars a day, take Ubers and Lyfts and stuff? Like sometimes taking public transportation is the more optimal route if that's the situation that you're in. So I know that's a weird example, but like you just need to make sure that like that you're rebalancing your standards in accordance to your circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Like now there are, yeah, like mind you, if it's your standard that you would never take public transportation and you have a valid driver's license and every personal ability and opportunity to acquire a vehicle out of your own, you know, out of your own efforts, well, then that would be a great standard to have. I bet you wind up with a car. You know what I mean? So, like, it's important to look at your standards, because as your circumstances change, you may need to have varying standards to accommodate those. Like some people are so hard-headed, like that they won't bend when the world calls on, when the universe, the world dictates for them to bend. And it actually ends up hindering their growth. It can be a strong suit in a lot of places, but I'm telling you, most of the time, like if you don't have the ability to be liquid and bend with the world, man, it's gonna be a tough ride for you. But yeah, so just like it's important to look at your standards. Like it could be standards within a partner, standards within your like rules of engagement, like your standards, like how people have to treat you to be in your life on an ongoing basis. Compensation for your skills, like you need to set standards for yourself, because ultimately those standards are going to dictate what you allow to happen and what you don't allow to happen, consciously and unconsciously. So like, it's important to be earmarking the time to consciously take an introspective look at your standards, and are they currently serving your present circumstances, or are they a contradiction to your current circumstances and therefore hindering your ability to maybe break through to the next level or to get through a temporary setback? Look at your standards. Make sure that they are serving you. Now, some of your standards may be in a blind spot, but you just, you know what I mean? It's about what you're willing and not willing to do. Like, it's your standards in a relationship is like, I call your rules of engagement. Like, people have to engage with you in a certain way, or it's not going to be an ongoing engagement. You know what I mean? It's going to be a one-off because of your standards, or your standards for compensation, standards for... There's a multitude of different standards that you could have when seeking out a significant other or a sexual partner, like having a standard in looks and attraction. There's a multitude of different standards, but just make sure that you're introspectively taking a look at yours and making sure that they serve your present circumstances. And until next time, let's grow together.